Welcome into another edition of Inside Indiana Volleyball. I'm Sean Nash, and alongside me, as always, Coach Dunbar-Kruzan, who notched up her 225th career win this past weekend. The Hoosiers took on Michigan State Friday night, Michigan on Saturday. Let's start first, Coach, with the Michigan State match.
Okay.
The team started off a little bit slow in the first couple sets. What can you do from the sideline when the team gets off to a start like that to try to get them fired up and going?
Yeah, it's a little frustrating because I thought we had a good game plan and I thought the kids were really ready to play. We had a good week of practice and watching film and just focusing on us and what we needed to handle. So it was a little frustrating for all of us, including the team, that we came out and I thought played nervous. You know, just didn't play our style of volleyball. I thought just didn't play together. And so we talked, you know, in the intermission between sets 2 and 3, and you know, we just talked about what it meant. You know, I mean, if teams are going to beat us, which there are going to be teams that beat us when we're playing our best, but when we're not playing our best and we just allow teams to gain confidence just doing whatever they want, then that was a little bit frustrating. So I was happy with the turnaround, just mentally, to be able to come back in that third set and play at a higher level. And then, you know, I rewatched the match, and, you know, fourth set, it's 19-all. We had a lot of opportunities in that match to turn things around and really play at a higher level. And, you know, we just made a lot of errors. You know, at the end of that 19-all, you know, most of those errors all came from us at the end of the match.
In Michigan on Saturday night, you guys took them down in 5 sets. You guys were in control of that match for most of the time, so a much different tone from Friday. Can you talk about the crowd, though, a little bit, and how energizing they were, and what that does for you guys, feeding off their energy?
Yeah, you know, honestly, that was one of the better crowds we've had in a long time, and not even just size-wise. I mean, obviously it was a good number there, but first of all, I thought Kelly Smith did a fantastic job of announcing the match. You know, he really kept the crowd into it, and you know, he's just a great guy anyway, so I'm really happy he's doing so many of our matches this season. But, you know, the crowd really just, and I told the kids at the very beginning of the year, you know, we're a type of team, like, if we just play really hard with the type of players we have and everything, you know, that's what fans want. They want to back kids that they believe in and that really are just going to put it out there every single night, win or lose. You know, they'll back those kind of kids. And so, you know, that was proven to me. You know, because we had a tough week last week, you know, playing at home and losing to Butler and then turning around and didn't play as well we want to on Friday night. But then Saturday night, the kids came out and gave it everything they had, even losing the first set and then winning in 5. And that crowd was with us every point, and I think in the 5th set was standing almost the entire 5th set. And, you know, we talk so much in our league about home court advantage. And they truly gave us a home court advantage, and I think the kids really felt that support, and it gave them a lot of energy, you know, throughout that whole match.
I think the crowd really got into it during the 4th set when Taylor went on that run of 10 straight serves. Can you just talk about her performance so far this season? Now over 30 aces, second on the team in kills, really a do-it-all player at this point.
Well, you know what I was really proud of is offensively she was not very good for us against Michigan. And so the fact that she could, you know, pass and play defense, hit out of the back row, serve some really crucial balls for us, and not even aces, but just taking them out of systems so we could, so it helped our block so much when they were setting so many outside balls. I was proud of her for finding ways to help the team when offensively she wasn't as good as she has been in the past few weeks. So, you know, that's what we're trying to get our kids to understand is, okay, if you're not doing this well, then what can you do to help the team right now? Whether it is your leadership or your passing or, you know, offensively, can you add something? And even if you're on the bench, what can you do there? And so I was proud of her for finding ways to stay engaged and to really make a difference in the match.
In this week's edition of Ask a Hoosier, Jeremy Rosenthal asked the girls what they would do first if they were to win the lottery. So let's take a look at that segment.
If I won the lottery, the first thing I would do would be to give money back to the Boys and Girls Club. I volunteer there every week in the spring, and those kids mean so much to me and the rest of the girls, and I think they deserve so much. So I think I would give money back to them.
Good.
I love them. They're so cute.
I would buy a house on the beach. And I guess donate to charity. I would donate to charity first and then buy a house on the beach.
If I won the lottery, I would probably go crazy. The first thing I would do would be set aside money to give at church because I'm very religious. And then second, my family believes a lot in giving back to the community, so I would definitely set aside for charity. And then my mom always tells me to save money, so I would make sure I saved a little portion and then have a little fun with the rest of it.
So, Coach, I'll ask you the same question. If you were to win the lottery, what would be the first thing you'd do?
Well, can I turn it around? What are you going to do with your lottery?
I'll be honest. I'll be selfish. I'll buy a brand new car. I don't know what kind of car
yet. You don't know what kind?
Maybe a couple cars. Maybe
a
Shelby, Cobra, and a Camaro. A really nice Camaro,
okay.
I think.
Old style.
Yeah, I like old American muscle cars. So.
I think, honestly, selfishly, the first thing I'd probably do is take my entire family on a huge vacation. I love to travel. Always, since I was young, we've gone on family trips, even, into college and after college. And it's my favorite memories, of my childhood and even just growing up after that. So I would definitely take my whole family on an entire vacation for a good month. And, then I would probably give money to charity and specifically to our church in Ellettsville. They're constantly just don't have enough money to hardly run that church, and it's a smaller church. So I would definitely try to get them over the hump and pay for the parsonage and all that kind of stuff. Just get it done. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we have to figure that out one day. But it's fun to think about anyway.
So now moving forward, looking forward to this week. Friday night we're at Maryland. Sunday at Rutgers. What obviously the big story for these two teams, their first year in the Big Ten. People are going to talk about what they can add to football and basketball, but what can they add to the volleyball landscape of the Big Ten?
Oh, another new challenge, and I think a new challenge for us this weekend is going to be going to Maryland and Rutgers, which we've never been there, and with Maryland on Friday night, it'll be their home opener in the Big Ten. And so I think that'll present quite the challenge for us. I know they have a pretty tight environment where they play, like a U gym, where the crowd can really get into it. So I think we're mentally going to have to be prepared for a team that is entering the Big Ten, has nothing to lose, and is just going to play really hard. They have some very nice athletes on their team. Took Northwestern to 5 this past weekend. I think it was 17-15 in the fifth they lost. So they're contenders. I mean, they're going to come out ready, swinging, ready to go. So, and they're going to have that extra juice just playing at home for the first time in the Big Ten. So, but great, I mean, both very good academic institutions. We're happy they're in our conference. I think Maryland specifically has really stepped up the level and has a head coach that's been in the Big Ten before, understands what it takes to win at this level. And I think Rutgers will get there as well. I think they're putting a lot. I saw they've done some new locker room renovations and all that kind of stuff. So I think they're excited to be in the Big Ten, and I think they're going to put the money into volleyball because they know how important volleyball is to the Big Ten, and they'll step up to the plate.
And both of those teams dropped both their opening matches this past week in the Big Ten. But Maryland, as you mentioned, was right there with Northwestern the whole time. And last week we talked about splitting weekends in Big Ten play. How key is it this first road weekend to get that at least a split in these first two matches?
Well, I think we're a little bit fortunate in that we play Friday, Sunday this weekend to give us a little bit more rest and a little bit more time to prepare so we can focus this week mainly on Maryland and not have to split so much of our time. And we'll focus that whole time and get all the charting and everything done, but then really come up with a solid game plan on Saturday for Rutgers on Sunday. And it'll give our kids just a little bit more rest too, and that's always helpful with the legs and all those type of things. I think we're really doing a good job so far this year, and we've really spent a lot of time with our strength coach and sitting down and making sure that our loads in practice are staying down, the jumps, going really intense, but some days shorter and some days longer. And I think that paid off for us on Saturday night. In the fifth set, I felt like we were still at a really high level, and the kids were recovering very well. And I think we have to continue to do that. And so that day off will only help with that.
And that's going to do it for us this week. For Coach Sherry Dunbar-Kruzan, I'm Sean Nash. Thanks for tuning in. Friday's match you can see on BTN Plus. Maryland will be handling that. Rutgers, I'm not sure. You may be stuck with me on IUHoosiers.com.
That's a good thing.
For that, I'd like to think it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
But that's going to do it for us. Thanks for tuning in to Inside Indiana Volleyball.